Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star original continent based on novel. So let's start. Rampaging Devil God was a universe supreme master from the second reincarnation era. There was a great deal of information on the universe supreme masters from the three reincarnation eras and two Holy Land universes in Luo Feng's mind. The universe supreme masters could be sorted into different groups. There were some skilled in dealing with souls, some skilled in annihilating material subjects, and some possessing supreme true treasures, or not contributed to their differences. And among all the universe supreme masters within the universe ocean, Rampaging Devil God was an extremely frightening existence. He dared to name himself Rampaging. That said something about his guts. Regarding his personal ability, he was only considered to be a universe supreme master of normal standard. Yet he was considered terrifying simply because he had that supreme true treasure. He was a unique life form, and it was in his nature to like swallowing stones, metals, and hard materials as such. He had been born with that extremely hard outer shell. It was said that there was too much essence of rocks and metals coagulated on the outer shell over his godly body, which was why the degree of hardness of this outer shell was unbelievable. Adding on his supreme true treasure armor, it was certainly enough to allow him to run rampant throughout Universe Ocean. That armor was very unique, and was named Blood Ocean Devil Armor. Other than the normal defensibility, this Blood Ocean Devil Armor was able to create a surrounding that was filled with the impact of an insane willpower where one seemed to have fallen into hell of Blood Ocean. When Rampaging Devil God is battling other Universe Supreme Masters, Swallow Hawk Master said, "There is nothing outstanding about his performance. Yet against us Universe Masters, he does have an absolute advantage. Once he goes crazy, his supreme true treasure will let out an outburst of willpower, and that impact will be so strong that even Universe Supreme Masters will be slightly affected. As for us, Universe Masters, I'm afraid we will be so overwhelmed, instantly, that we will not be able to put up any form of resistance at all." Luo Feng nodded solemnly. "And he is very temperamental. There is no way we can predict his capricious moods." Swallow Hawk Master was flying as he elaborated amidst sighs. "He is also a loner. Thus, he is not afraid of getting into trouble, which is why, the moment anyone sees this Rampaging Devil God, they would rather make a detour and avoid crossing paths with him. If not for Bei Kai Star Master, several other Universe Masters, as well as myself, would already have left this place. Bei Kai Star Master's character is extremely likable, and he has spent a very long time comprehending the black-striped stone pillars, so his knowledge is more comprehensive. Bei Kai Star Master tends to share what he has comprehended with everyone, which is always so rewarding for us all. Universe Supreme Masters who are willing to share and guide us are very, very few, so we are all reluctant to leave because of Bei Kai Star Master. Wherever Bei Kai Star Master chooses to reside, Rampaging Devil God will also be more respectful in his behavior. The most detestable thing about him is that Rampaging Devil God likes to change his looks, especially when he meets newcomers who have never seen him before, much less know his life aura. Meeting Rampaging Devil God in his changed appearance, they will not recognize him at all. They will not have the slightest degree of vigilance. The moment they do something to anger Rampaging Devil God, even for something very minor, I'm afraid annihilation is their only fate." Two streaks of rainbow-like light swept across the void space. As he flew, Luo Feng gradually got a better understanding of the situation. The space of the black-striped stone pillars had a total of 16 black-striped stone pillars. Blood Orchid Ancestor had stationed himself by the number 9 black-striped stone pillar a long time ago, while Bei Kai Star Master had stationed himself by the number 2 black-striped stone pillar, also on a long-term basis. As for Rampaging Devil God, he did not fix himself to a certain stone pillar, and liked to wander around randomly in his disguised identities. If one could recognize his aura, then nothing much would happen. On the other hand, not being able to identify him or his aura would mean that danger was near. Right ahead will be the number 2 black-striped stone pillar. It is the place where the majority of great beings in all of the space of black-striped stone pillars gathered. Spreading his pair of wings, Swallowhawk Master flew up into the sky at high speed and headed towards the number 2 celestial magic pillar. Flying alongside him was Luo Feng, who took a glance at where they were heading toward. It was a towering height that knew no bounds, so tall that it extended all the way past the limits of the field of vision and bore through the foggy atmosphere. As for the base of the black-striped stone pillar, it too had penetrated into the bottommost endless fog. A tremendous amount of gigantic rocks orbited the black-striped stone pillars, continuously revolving around the pillars like Earth around the sun. These sizable rocks tirelessly circled the black-striped stone pillars. Also, amidst the dense and endless ocean of rocks, there could be seen black-tipped architecture that sported some extremely eye-catching and exquisite sculptures. Those were the space chambers. I have obtained a black token from 5 Chaos Master, but I do not know which space chamber this black token corresponds to, Luo Feng said to himself. There are 16 black-striped stone pillars here. Every black-striped stone pillar has some space chambers in its surroundings. The only problem is, I can only detect a sensation if I am close to the space chamber that corresponds with my black token. Seems like I have to try my luck with these 16 black-striped stone pillars one by one. In the midst of flying, Swallowhawk Master was observing Luo Feng. As they approached the number 2 black-striped stone pillar, the powerful impact of the willpower got stronger. Kill. 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 It was as though an army of millions and billions of soldiers was roaring in battle. To reach them, for great beings who had just become universe masters, they would need all of their might to resist the impact of such strong willpower. But Swallowhawk Master realized that Luo Feng was unshaken, and his face seemed to tell how effortless this was for him. This Luo Feng. His cultivation time is short, yet his willpower is so powerful. Swallowhawk Master was shocked. I have spent a long time cultivating myself. And I also had to spend an extremely long time honing my willpower to reach this high level before I could easily overcome it. How can he resist the impact so easily? Swallowhawk Master, said Luo Feng as he pointed into the distance. Several great beings seemed to be entrenched on the gigantic rocks, orbiting some of the black-striped stone pillars. At a single glance, I can already see a handful of great beings. Where the number 2 black-striped stone pillar is, exactly how many great beings are there? Close to 100, Swallowhawk Master replied right away. As you can see, they are all at different distances from the black-striped stone pillar. Some are further, some are nearer. This all depends on the willpower of the individual great beings. If your willpower is stronger, you can naturally choose a spot nearer to the black-striped stone pillar to rest. In the deepest area, you will find Beikai Star Master. 2 streaks of light speedily flew toward the black-striped stone pillar. What did it really mean to say that the black-striped stone pillar was as tall as 1,000 light-years? The entire solar system, when compared to it, was merely a small dot. The closer you got to it, the loftier it felt. That formidable aura was so strong that it made Luo Feng shudder. This was indeed worthy of being known to all as a treasure more unique than a supreme true treasure. Until that very day, no universe supreme master dared to go near it, much less to touch it. Milky Way Horde leader, Swallowhawk Master, could not help saying. The nearer we are, the stronger the impact of that willpower. My usual mediation area is in the deeper region, and that area is near to my tolerance limit, so I can use it to hone my willpower all the more. If it gets overbearing for you, do let me know beforehand. That's good. I can take the chance to test my limit. Luo Feng laughed. The two flew toward the inner region. Swallowhawk Master continued to closely observe Luo Feng. From his point of view, Luo Feng had merely cultivated for slightly more than 10 eras. Even if he were to start honing his willpower from his moment of birth, how strong could he become? Yet Luo Feng's expression was natural and relaxed. Obviously, the impact of the willpower did not exhaust him at all, much less push him to his limit. Swallowhawk Master, as we get nearer to the stone pillar, time velocity is also continuously changing, Luo Feng commented. The time velocity here is already as fast as 200 times more. What about the place you usually go to when honing your willpower? How many times faster is the time velocity over there? The nearer we are, the faster the rate of acceleration of time velocity, Swallow Hawkmaster said. The time velocity in the area where I hone my skills is around 1,100 times. For someone like Beikai Master, whose willpower is extremely terrifying among all the universe supreme masters, he has cultivated for a period longer than one reincarnation era. According to him, the place where he cultivates has a time velocity that is as fast as 130,000 times more. Luo Feng was dumbfounded. It was no wonder even rampaging devil god had to give credit to Beikai Master. This gentle-tempered existence from the first reincarnation era, who did not mind sharing his experience and knowledge with others, was simply too powerful for words. Solely his willpower alone could be so terrifying. If he were to venture into the studies of illusion, the amount of fear he could instill in other great beings would be out of the world. Even executing something as simple as a soul attack, when coupled with his willpower, would result in an invincible soul attack. This great existence also had an extraordinary perspective on life. Even when he was nearing his doomsday, he was still able to cultivate quietly. At times, he would openly share his comprehensions. Other times, he would simply exist in peaceful silence. Swallow Hawkmaster. By his side, that silver-armored, black-haired human. That must be Silver Wings Horde leader Luo Feng. In the surrounding area of the black-striped stone pillar, several universe masters had also noticed that Swallow Hawkmaster and Luo Feng were making their way toward the inner region, much deeper in from where they were. These universe masters were secretly in shock. To be able to venture further and deeper in, obviously the willpower of Luo Feng was much stronger than theirs. They were in disbelief that someone with such a short cultivation period could have a willpower that was so strong. Amongst them, there were some who were very powerful and had strong fighting abilities, but that did not mean that they had terrifying willpower. After all, out of almost 100 universe masters, only a fraction of them honed their willpower for the long term. The majority of them were only there for a short break. The area they were at was merely a safe transit stop. That is my cultivation place. Swallow Hawkmaster was flying at high speed and soon landed on a piece of gigantic rock that was speeding through the air. Luo Feng landed likewise. Milky Way Horde leader, you are able to resist the impact of the willpower of this place. You have earned my admiration. Swallow Hawkmaster was impressed. Luo Feng laughed. Luckily for him, he had gone through the honing process within the space of the wings. Given his past, before the time spent in the space of the wings, if he were to be in this space that he was in now, he would have likely been sprawled on the floor with his entire body trembling, gritting his teeth while perspiring profusely. But now, he could only feel exhaustion, nothing else. Oh, there is still quite a number of universe masters ahead. Luo Feng was surprised to see that a distance away from where they were, at an area nearer to the black-striped stone pillars, there was, indeed, a handful of great beings on the gigantic rock. Yes, although there are close to 100 universe masters gathered here, more than half are just here to take a temporary break and not intentionally here to hone their willpower for cultivation. The ones who are here with the intention of honing their willpower normally would be of a relatively higher standard in regards to their willpower, as compared to their peers. There are also some whose willpower has reached the pinnacle level of a universe master. As for those who passed the bottleneck and achieved a breakthrough, their willpower is now comparable to that of a universe supreme master. Look! That. Those 19. At an almost similar distance away from the black-striped stone pillars, these 19 universe masters have reached the ultimate limit of a universe master's willpower. If they want to make further progress, they will have to pass the bottleneck of a universe master. And thereafter, they will undergo qualitative changes to attain willpower that is comparable to that of a universe supreme master. Look, deeper in, Swallow Hawkmaster explained. Other than Beikai Star Master, standing even closer to the black-striped stone pillars as compared to the 19 universe masters, I can see 2 other great beings. Actually, there are 3. These 3 universe masters all have a willpower comparable to a universe supreme master. These 3 are, respectively, from the 2 Holy Land universes and the first reincarnation era. Luo Feng lamented. He was afraid of being at a comparable standard as the other 19 Universe Masters. No one would have expected to find 3 Universe Masters, whose willpower was comparable to that of Universe Supreme Masters, within this space of the black-striped stone pillars. Throughout the entire Universe Ocean, how many can be found? Right, said Swallowhawk Master. Out of the 3 Universe Masters, there is one from the Divine Eye Clan. You previously annihilated the Divine Eye Clan's Ultimate Arrow Master and 5 Chaos Master. That places great enmity between you and the Divine Eye Clan, so you had better practice more caution. Oh, what is he called? Luo Feng asked. Divine Eye Clan. Clear Eye Master. Swallowhawk Master said solemnly. There was a slight change in Luo Feng's expression. It's him. Luo Feng was secretly shocked. This Clear Eye Master was comparable to 5 Chaos Master. If he was to be ranked within the 6th-tier category for Universe Masters, he would be ranked as a 5th-tiered Universe Master. Clear Eye Master was first true Master's disciple, especially skilled in techniques involving soul attacks and illusions, and he had an illusion-type unique treasure Clear Light Mirror. This Clear Light Mirror was comparable to Crazy Demon Extermination Godly Armor in terms of value. Or at least, in the hands of Clear Eye Master, it had made a name for itself. In terms of godly power, this Clear Eye Master is close to the perfect limit. In terms of willpower, he is comparable to a Universe Supreme Master. And with Clear Light Mirror in his possession, even if he were to be compared with a Universe Supreme Master, at the very most, he would lose out a little in terms of secret technique. Luo Feng analyzed to himself. Many great beings would rather be confronted by 5 Chaos Master. No one is willing to cross paths with Clear Eye Master. In a face-to-face confrontation with 5 Chaos Master, brute force alone will suffice, but with Clear Eye Master, once they are subjected to a soul attack or an illusion attack, their consciousness will be trapped, and then they will be at a great disadvantage. Of course, if given a choice between 5 Chaos Master and Clear Eye Master, the majority of the great beings would choose to fight 5 Chaos. But Luo Feng was keener on battling Clear Eye Master. If 5 Chaos Master were to really put effort into fighting a battle, Luo Feng might be cornered into helplessness. Swallowhawk Master, since you are cultivating here, I shall not interrupt further. Luo Feng smiled. Milky Way Horde Leader, Swallowhawk Master said. When you are honing your willpower in the space of the black-striped stone pillars, should the need arises, do feel free to contact me via the virtual universe. I will be here all the time. Sure. Luo Feng transformed into a stream of silver, rainbow-like light, and continued to fly toward the black-striped stone pillars. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Huh. It's a human. There is a human flying over here. That is, silver armor and black hair. It's Silver Wings Horde Leader Luo Feng. He dares fly here. Seems like for him to make such a name for himself, there must be something different about him. At least, when it comes to willpower, his is comparable to mine. As Luo Feng continued to fly nearer to the space of the black-striped stone pillars, he caught the attention of several Universe Masters. Time velocity is indeed soaring at an accelerated rate. 1,500 times, 1,800 times, 2,300 times, 2,800 times. Luo Feng could feel time and space contorting. Space had frozen, and time velocity was so frighteningly fast, at a rate that matched 3,000 times that of the outside world. Luo Feng finally came to a stop and landed directly on a huge flying rock. The other 19 Universe Masters were about the same distance away. Such great oppression. Luo Feng stood on the huge rock and looked afar at the lofty and towering celestial magic pillars in the distance. The impact of the willpower here is so strong that I can already feel it taking a toll on me. Luckily for me, I am still able to stay poised. No wonder the other 19 Universe Masters did not continue to advance. If they had done so, I'm afraid they would have lost control of their godly bodies and showed their discomposure. Whole body trembling. Perspiring profusely. Blood osmosing. These symptoms, along with various other indications of one's soul being put under unbearable agony, were the signs of discomposure. Right now, it was getting extremely tough, and the oppression was excessive, but he had pulled through. In the future, I shall hone my willpower on this huge rock, Luo Feng said to himself. The human, Milky Way horde leader Luo Feng, from the primal universe, has appeared in universe boat somewhere in the space of the black-striped stone pillars, within the surroundings of number 2 black-striped stone pillar. Luo Feng has appeared. He is right in the space of the black-striped stone pillars. It is that Silver Wings horde leader. He is right here. I just saw him with my own eyes. Absolutely no doubt. Close to 100 universe masters were nearby, and a handful had already spotted Luo Feng. Naturally, the news spread quickly. Luo Feng had expected this to happen. After all, this time around, he was going to stay for a long time to hone his willpower, so there was no way he could hide from them. But even if his presence was made public, it meant nothing much. His primary enemy was the Divine Eye clan. Other groups of powers would not go to the same lengths to fight him. Huge Axe Creator's power might not have been made known to those within Universe Ocean, but Third True Master and Sixth True Master suffering a devastating defeat at his hands was major news. Who would not have caught wind of it? Even if anyone wanted to deal with Luo Feng, it would only be those Universe Masters who bore a grudge against him. No one else at the level of a Universe Supreme Master would dare to make reckless moves with Huge Axe acting as a powerful deterrent. Clear Eye Master wore a white robe, and had skin that was smooth and clear like white jade. He stood on a huge rock with his eyes closed. Behind him, the single-eyed shadow radiated faint light rays as Clear Eye Master resisted the impact of that willpower as best as he could. The place he was at was much nearer to the black-striped stone pillars, so if ordinary Universe Masters were to advance nearer, they would likely be hit by the impact of willpower and be knocked unconscious. In the distance, it led to a place occupied by great beings whose willpower had reached the limit of a Universe Master. However, in the direction which his senses had pointed him, a lone figure was descending. A human. Clear Eye Master's brows furrowed slightly. Soon enough, the identity of the figure became apparent. His eyes flashed with a hint of harsh countenance, but he was quick in showing restraint as he softly mumbled under his breath, Silver Wings horde leader. How dare you show yourself here? You sure have guts. Ultimate Arrow, he has another body. I am unable to totally annihilate him to avenge you, but I can destroy this body of his. Everything seemed to be at peace. But Clear Eye Master's heart was burning with insane rage and murderous intentions. Long before Clear Eye Master had become a Universe Master, his family and friends from his younger years had all passed away due to old age. During a long period of close to 3 reincarnation eras, the other Universe Masters, who were not only from the same clan, but also the same level as him and had similarities of character, naturally formed cliques, or even forged deep friendships that transcended life and death. Clear Eye Master and Ultimate Arrow Master were very close at heart, and shared an extremely deep friendship, for they had seen each other through a long period of close to 3 reincarnation eras. They had long been accustomed to the existence of friends. The annihilation of Ultimate Arrow naturally filled him with resentment. Yet Luo Feng's whereabouts were always a mystery. At times, he would appear in God-destroying Valley. Other times, he would appear in Wave of Stars Ocean. Occasionally, there would be traces of his whereabouts, and these made it more difficult for the other great beings to determine his intended route. Very well. A streak of white light flew through the air and charged toward Luo Feng at high speed. It's Clear Eye Master. Why would Clear Eye Master head toward Silver Wings horde leader? Could it be because of Ultimate Arrow Master and 5 Chaos Master? The human Luo Feng is in deep trouble. Several other Universe Masters realized what was happening, but they observed quietly instead. No one intervened. Luo Feng had just sat down cross-legged, about to start meditating, when he suddenly spotted a flash of white light flying toward him. Huh? Luo Feng gave a slight frown. Clear Eye Master. That white light maintained a speed of 100 times time velocity, and was quickly approaching Luo Feng. A short moment later, it reduced its speed by moving in a crooked line, then descended and landed on the gigantic rock that Luo Feng was on. This rock was so massive that even when both Luo Feng and Clear Eye Master were standing on it, they were like the size of 2 ants compared to the whole planet Earth. Silver Wings Horde Leader. A clear and cold voice was transmitted over to Luo Feng as a white-robed figure approached him, step by step. Every step surpassed tens of thousands of kilometers, and he was so fast that he left behind a trail of shadows. I am called Milky Way Horde Leader, not Silver Wings Horde Leader. Luo Feng finally stood up, appearing leisurely and relaxed as he looked at the white-robed figure in the distance. Clear Eye Master, what is your purpose in coming here? Don't you know? Clear Eye Master was clearly feeling unfriendly toward Luo Feng, as he closed the distance between them step after step. To avenge Ultimate Arrow and 5 Chaos. Luo Feng asked in return. All for the sake of saving the face of your clan. Whatever the reason, you ought to die. Clear Eye Master said. He continued advancing with a cold look. The distance between him and Luo Feng was shortening, and his voice was transmitted over to Luo Feng through green spots of light. Ought to die. Luo Feng laughed. Clear Eye Master stood firm on his spot as he looked at Luo Feng. Being sucked into the deep abyss, losing the pair of silver wings true treasure. Yet I had not expected you to be able to rise on your feet again so quickly. What a pity that you are still so tender and immature. Judging from how you look now, it seems like you show no fear. Luo Feng chuckled to himself. Scared? What a joke. He was wearing crazy demon extermination godly armor, which was made of a unique material that was capable of reducing the power of a soul attack to 1%. But this was beside the point. His greatest trump card was Star Tower, which he kept within his body. Star Tower was a supreme true treasure, and with it guarding his soul, why would he fear? This was why he might feel intimidated by that illustrious name, but if he were to choose between 5 Chaos Master and Clear Eye Master, he would definitely choose Clear Eye Master. How confident you are. Clear Eye Master remarked coldly. Very well. Meet your doom. Clear Eye Master was an arrogant being, through and through. Without warning, the single-eyed shadow behind him suddenly expanded, and an ancient mirror emerged from within his body to combine with the single-eyed shadow. Instantly, the shadow seemed to take on a tangible form, as though a single gigantic eye was gazing at Luo Feng from afar. Then an intangible attack directly befell upon Luo Feng. Just die, once and for all, Clear Eye Master said coldly with a wave of his hand. A beam of white light flew rapidly through the air at Luo Feng. In mid-flight, the beam transformed into a dazzling white beast. The beast resembled a white dragon, but it had 2 heads. It glided through the air, let out a deep growl, and within an instant, appeared before Luo Feng. The 2 heads of the beast suddenly launched their attacks together, like a pair of scissors determined to snip Luo Feng to death. Falling into my illusions, you shall have no power of resistance at all, regardless of how strong your godly body is, Clear Eye Master said coldly. The most you could do is to launch a few more attacks. This was why many Universe Masters were reluctant to exchange blows with him. He was a terrifying existence, who was extremely strong in areas related to the soul, which was frightening enough. Of course, if his soul attacks could be warded off, he would be rendered helpless without further techniques to rely on. Being skilled in soul attacks usually meant that he would not be as strong in material attacks, like Master of Banff, who had very mediocre skills when it came to using material attacks during fights. Upon comparison, Clear Eye Master was more powerful than Master of Banff. He could rely on areas involving souls and make the rank of a 5th-tiered Universe Master. But when it came to material attacks, he barely made the rank of a 4th-tier standard, although this was still quite impressive. Standing unmoving like a wooden pole, Luo Feng suddenly waved his arm. On his right hand, sharp claws formed and started to tear at the surrounding time and space instantly. These 5 sharp claws were like golden blades, and they gathered to converge into one huge sharp claw, which viciously caught hold of that 2-headed dragon-like beast, tearing and biting with a murderous intention to kill. There was a loud roar of pain. The 2-headed dragon's skull was split into 2 as it collapsed. The moment this beast that was formed with the use of a true treasure galvanizing technique was defeated and dispersed, the form of a certain true treasure was revealed. It was a blade that looked like an ordinary white ruler. The long white ruler rolled into the distance before it fell and smashed heavily onto the vast surface of the gigantic rock, causing the entire rock to tremble. Clear Eye Master was in shock. He could not be bothered with anything else, as he repeatedly executed his strongest technique, clear extermination of reincarnation. Luo Feng simply dodged the attacks in a flash. As a great being who had cultivated the beast god path, upon comprehending the heart of beast god, every part of his godly body was like a weapon, and any technique could be executed directly with his godly body. Luo Feng could move about at a shocking speed. He was just like a fearsome beast god. In a flash, he appeared before Clear Eye Master, then, with sharp claws that seemed to be composed of 5 blades, he slashed down onto Clear Eye Master's head. Clear Eye Master tried his best to ward off the attack, but with a loud rumble, he was reduced to something a cookie smashed into pieces. He immediately fell flat onto the surface of the huge rock, and subsequently, into a huge pit created by the impact of Luo Feng's strike. How dare you think of killing me? Luo Feng's angry roars resounded. In your dreams. How did you manage to? Clear Eye Master was about to make a hasty retreat as he emerged from the deep pit, but he was still in disbelief that the ultimate technique that he was so proud of, clear extermination of reincarnation, had actually failed to work on Luo Feng. This was the flaw that a great being from the pulse of soul attacks had. If his opponent was influenced by his soul attack, it was fated that he would trample on his opponent. However, if his soul attack were to fail, he would be trampled upon instead. At this moment, Luo Feng's silver armor transformed into something hideous. There were bulges in its shoulders, and blades were protruding out of his elbows. Each of his hands became 5 blades. His entire being had become a blade beast god. Clear Eye Master used both hands to ward off the attacks, causing the rocky earth below to vibrate so violently that there were cracks spreading in all directions. Clear Eye, your soul attack is impressive, but your material attack techniques are a notch lower. Luo Feng's entire being seemed to transform into a full weapon: elbows, sharp claws, fists, knees, fingers, toes, head. It was launching attacks in a frenzied manner, causing Clear Eye Master to suffer occasional hits. Yet Clear Eye Master's godly body was strong and large, so he was still able to bear the blows. Clear Eye Master let out a begrudging roar of reluctance. Silver Wings Horde Leader. The surrounding endless, hazy cyan light spots suddenly became a great, glorious light, and countless rolling waves of cyan light moved to wrap and surround Luo Feng, trying their best to trap him. Instantly, Luo Feng, who had been moving at an insanely accelerated speed, was forced to slow down. Clear Eye Master immediately retreated as far away as he could. From afar, he looked at Luo Feng. His eyes were filled with complex emotions. A mere youngster, who had cultivated for a couple of eras, could force him, Clear Eye Master, to make use of his pinnacle domain-type true treasure. This was an insult. As a super great being who specialized in soul-type attacks, he would naturally have backup plans. Should any of his soul attacks fail, for instance, within the universe ocean, there were some special life forms that did not have souls, so his attacks would be futile. This was why Clear Eye Master's domain-type true treasure, palace-type true treasure, armor, and various other defense and survival techniques were all extremely strong. However, the moment he was forced to use these, it would mean that he could not beat his opponent, and now, he was being forced by Luo Feng to go all out on the use of his domain true treasure. For such an arrogant character like Clear Eye Master, such an insult would naturally bring him to nurse a grievance. Domain true treasure. Luo Feng's eyes glimmered with the ferocity of a beast god. Then he sat down right away, cross-legged, and sneered. For being able to make you, Clear Eye Master, use your domain-type true treasure at full force, I am truly honored. Clear Eye Master, it seems like there's nothing you can do to me. How did you ward off my soul attacks? Clear Eye Master could not help asking. Make a guess. Luo Feng smiled softly. Clear Eye Master frowned. According to information sources, you have a Mosha body. Could it be that your master body for battle now is your Mosha body? Or could it be that you have a unique true treasure that is extremely strong in protecting and defending your soul? If it was his Mosha body, then it certainly would not be afraid of any soul attack. Why should I tell you? Luo Feng shut his eyes instantly. He could not be bothered with Clear Eye Master. Clear Eye Master truly intended to escape, but Luo Feng was reluctant to reveal his Shawu wings yet, so he did not give chase. Once Shawu wings were revealed, there would be much trouble. The Divine Eye clan might think that Huge Axe Creator gave Shawu wings to Luo Feng after obtaining it. But Huge Axe Creator and Primal Chaos City Leader both knew that previously, Huge Axe did not obtain the wings. Those who were present at the 9th level of Deep Abyss at that time were the few, including Sitting Mountain Guest and Brilliant Gold Devil God. Brilliant Gold Devil God was from the second reincarnation era. It would be highly unlikely that he would be the one to give the wings to Luo Feng. Then it would be an easy guess. Sitting Mountain Guest and Luo Feng were related. Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest does not seem to want to publicize this matter, Luo Feng said to himself. If teacher did not mind, I would have made use of Shawu Wing's ability to control time and space. Then, even if I were pitted against 5 Chaos Master, I would have no trace of fear. Luo Feng was aware that he was already different than he had been during the battle in God-Destroying Valley. At that time, he had been weak in close combat, but now, he was already at the 4th tier of the top level. Compared to 5 Chaos, he only fell short in terms of godly power. When it came to the true treasures each owned, he still had a slight advantage. He had Crazy Demon Extermination godly armor while 5 Chaos had nothing superior to talk about. Besides, he had Shawu wings to complement his power. When the two confronted one another in a fight, their powers would not differ much. But, this Clear Eye Master, Luo Feng looked at the faraway Clear Eye Master, who wore a very displeased expression. Immediately, he shut his eyes and said to himself, he is not enough to force me to use Shawu wings. Humph! Clear Eye Master gave an angry snort, then transformed into a streak of light and left. When Clear Eye Master was gone, Luo Feng opened his eyes with a solemn expression. He was only trying to look as though everything was easy to him earlier on, but in fact, he had depended on the double defense of Crazy Demon Extermination godly armor and Star Tower. Clear Eye Master's power earlier on was so strong that it could exterminate a single reincarnation cycle. Luo Feng had used Crazy Demon Extermination godly armor to weaken the force, yet it was still so mighty. Like wheels in continuous rolling motion, it had been crushing and suppressing Luo Feng's soul. If he had only had an ordinary soul treasure, it would not have been able to protect him at all. Luckily, it was Star Tower. He was so strong. Normal great beings don't even have Crazy Demon Extermination godly armor, or any supreme treasure. Luo Feng sighed to himself. Impressive, indeed. However, it is not good to just depend on true treasures. I must sharpen and hone my willpower as soon as I can. If my willpower could reach the level of a Universe Supreme Master, warding off soul attacks might be much easier, and I will be able to obtain that pair of white wings. With that, Luo Feng transformed into light and flew outside. Being where he was merely trying to get a feel of what it was to sharpen and hone his willpower. Now, the first and foremost thing to do was to find his own secret space chamber. The battle was witnessed by a crowd of over 20 Universe Masters from afar, including Swallow Hawk Master. Initially, everyone thought that Luo Feng would suffer a great loss, yet, unexpectedly, Clear Eye Master's techniques that allowed him to run rampant across Universe Ocean failed to work their powers on Luo Feng. He had even lost big time in close combat later on. If even his most powerful soul attack techniques failed, when it came to close combat, it was within the expectation of the numerous Universe Masters that he would still be at the losing end. What Swallow Hawk Master and the other great beings found unbelievable was that Luo Feng could ward off the soul attacks so easily. Could it really be because he had a Mosha body? In the endless snowy grounds of internal domain of Universe Boat, 5 Chaos Master and an Yong Master were treading across the snowy grounds, not daring to fly, as the skies of this domain were extremely dangerous. Every step they took, however, allowed them to advance a distance of several hundreds of thousands of kilometers. 5 Chaos Master stopped with a frown. What is the matter? An Young Master asked right away. 5 Chaos Master's face flashed a glimmer of rage as he said in a low voice, that Luo Feng has appeared in the space of black-striped stone pillars. Space of black-striped stone pillars. An Young Master was happy for a moment, then immediately said, right. From what I remember, Clear Eye is now over at the space of black-striped stone pillars. At the very thought of Clear Eye, An Young Master was deeply fearful. Clear Eye had already exchanged blows with Luo Feng, 5 Chaos Master continued, shaking his head. A pity. Even Clear Eye was not Luo Feng's match. Luo Feng easily warded off his soul attacks without flinching. He could only rely on his domain-type true treasures to suppress Luo Feng, so that Luo Feng could not get near enough to him to fight in close combat. What? An Young Master was in great shock. Luo Feng has several massive bodies and this, perhaps, might be his Mosha body, 5 Chaos Master guessed with a frown. I couldn't care less how he managed to ward off the soul attacks. That has nothing to do with me at all. I can totally suppress him, given my capability. What I am troubled over now is, after the battle, Luo Feng left quickly with no one knowing where he is heading off to this time. Still on his way. An Young Master's eyes narrowed into a glare. Where, exactly, is this Luo Feng's final destination? Who knows? 5 Chaos Master shook his head. The space of the black-striped stone pillars was vast and strange, and the 16 black-striped stone pillars were endlessly tall. Ha ha. After half a month, I finally found my own secret space chamber. Luo Feng looked at the faraway black-tipped architecture, and could not help smiling. He had already sensed something, and because it was a sensation that could only be detected well within a short distance, he had spent the past few days running around these 16 black-striped stone pillars. 5 Chaos, oh 5 Chaos. Your black token has fallen in my hands. Who knows, what else have you left here in this secret space chamber? Luo Feng transformed into a streak of light and flew off at high speed. The secret space chamber was massive. Its size was comparable to the flying gigantic rocks winding about the black-striped stone pillars. When Luo Feng flew to stand before it, he felt how small he was, but when he used his hands to lightly touch the walls, he easily went through them. Huh! Luo Feng was surprised and let out a laugh. Thereafter, he took a step forward and his entire being passed through the wall of that structure to enter within. There was an individual space within the secret space chamber, towering, vast, and endless. Only the master of a black token could enter. Any other great being, regardless of whether they were a universe supreme master or not, could banish all thoughts of breaking into this space. For eternity, no other great being was able to destroy a secret space chamber. Even if it was the secret space chamber of this black token, which was at the lowest level of the secret space chambers of the 3 great tokens. This is huge. Luo Feng was suspended in mid-air, as he looked down at the vast land. On the land covered by the rolling mountains, there was a part that seemed to be shaved flat. One look at the smooth rock walls, and he could see a large number of diagrams of secret engravings and transcripts. Luo Feng descended swiftly to land on the starting point of the countless sculptures of engravings and transcripts. On it, there were ancient writings that he was not familiar with. These were different from the writings left behind by the civilized ancient existence in the universe boat. Yet they contained a strong willpower of their own, and could easily transmit information to onlookers. At Luo Feng's level, a large amount of information could be transmitted to him even through a mere piece of the painting. I am 9 Mortal Master. This black token has been here with me for countless generations. Generations of great beings have been annihilated, with only some traces that could be distinguished. This is something that I have always lamented about. So, I have a thought. I hope that in the future, the successive owners of this secret space chamber could leave behind some information about themselves. At least when their end is near and they will thus be annihilated, future generations shall know of them. I have lived for almost 3 generation eras. My end is nearing. I have been waiting in silence. If I am to die, the later generations can have my treasures. Ha ha. It's just that I don't know who from the later generation would have such an opportunity. I am Sparrow Spring. Senior 9 Mortal's treasures have since become my possessions, and I am thankful to Senior 9 Mortal and the seniors before him. Perhaps this secret space chamber has had many other masters before, but the information was not detailed enough, so I have proclaimed Senior 9 Mortal as its first space owner. I shall be the second, and if I am unable to avoid doomsday, then I shall leave these valuables here. These are the diagrams of secret techniques that I have comprehended. On the vast and spacious rock wall, there was a large number of sculptures. Every sculpture represented a different space master. I am Imperial I Master, 193rd Space Master. The previous senior did not leave anything behind. Ha ha. But having roamed the 3 most dangerous lands, the most annoying thing to take note of was that there were many unknown places within the 3 most dangerous grounds, and thus, many unknown dangers. So I came up with an idea. Every Space Master should leave a map related to his own findings of the 3 most dangerous lands. Every generation thereafter will then supplement the map with more details. And this map shall always be left here. I believe, after countless generations, this map will become more detailed and will be the greatest boon to owners of this secret space chamber. I shall leave my map about the 3 most dangerous lands here. Venturing along the smooth rock walls, Luo Feng could see the writings left behind by generations of space masters. Looking down the same eye line, there seemed to be no end. Ha ha. You later generations, just cry your eyes out. I will destroy everything accumulated about the 3 most dangerous lands on this map. Remember, I am Piercing Master, the 1928th Space Master. I left behind no treasure at all. Ha ha. The more he looked, the more transcripts he found. Further down, another Space Master left a map that sparked the transmission of a rich pool of information. There might be interruptions or intentional destructions in between, but the majority chose to transmit and hand down the recordings accumulated and collected in this map. It was a tradition. In the map, many great beings had chosen to leave their diagrams of secret techniques, which they were so proud of. I think the number of Space Masters may have to be calculated in units of tens of thousands. Luo Feng looked on silently, as though he could see the change of Space Masters, generation after generation. With the passing of endless time, everything had dispersed within Universe Ocean, leaving no traces in this secret space chamber. This video will end here.